Here's a little late night post for you. The entertainer himself and self-proclaimed musical genius Chili Gonzales is back with a new album coming out on Errol Alkin's label Fantasy Sound. We sat down with him directly ahead of his Bloomsbury Ballroom performance to get the lowdown on this. That's coming up next week. We thought we'd do a little introduction for most people who don't know and find out a bit behind the method to his madness and get some history on the man known as Gonzales.
Because I have this gift of musical genius, which is largely a technical gift, again, to the detriment of my taste. But the ability to sort of see music as basically scientific means you see merit in everything. Somehow my artistic taste isn't rigid enough to somehow limit me to only a few options. I feel like I have endless options. That can be an advantage or a disadvantage. I remember the first time I realized I could sort of reproduce a song. I was quite young, 8 or 9, playing ping pong with a friend, and I sort of said to him, "You know what? I think if I go over to the piano right now, I think I know what notes to hit to play the riff from this song by this Russian band, Autograph." And that was kind of the first time I sort of realized I could hear music in my head a little bit. Do you know what I mean? The idea is that you don't need to be at your instrument. And people ask, how does Beethoven write music if he's deaf? Well, obviously you hear the music in your head, just like a great film director can see the movie in his head, like Alfred Hitchcock or whatever. So I have a little piece of this technical gift, which definitely does not guarantee you at all, an artist's career or an entertainer's career. In my case, someone who makes their own albums. Someone with those kinds of technical gifts. There's a lot of people with those technical gifts. A lot of people I went to music school with. A lot of them become professors. A lot of them write music for commercials, jingles, for movies. In fact, this gift I have, this technical reproduction, probably makes it harder for me.
Maybe a bit
in a lot of ways in this sort of young generation world I'm in.
Yeah.
It's not the best superpower to have.
But did you ever feel like you had a choice, given that you recognized that from a young age? Did you feel compelled to act upon that gift? Or?
Well, that's probably why I became so focused on entertainment, because at least I knew with the philosophy of entertainment, you inherently prioritize the audience. And that was my way out. The teeter-totter of the Gonzales show is, the entertainer is a figure who is so insecure he needs these masses of people to applaud him. Otherwise, he'll become a sociopath. At the same time, he does have to have a certain charisma, and charisma is inherently a representation of kind of confidence and establishing rapport with people easily. That's the definition of entertainer's job right there. Do you know what I mean?
Gonzales, maintenant en partition. Retrouvez tout l'univers de son album Solo Piano.
But when you look at solo piano, and I believe from reading that that's been your largest selling record to date.
Yeah, by far.
That record is probably the purest representation of your musical ability outside of the face in a strange way.
I'm not sure I agree. Because A, it's an opinion, so it doesn't matter if I agree. The reason is...
Am I taking it too simplified because the record itself is quite a stripped down?
There is a certain amount of what you're talking about, but it's exaggerated and multiplied by the illusion of purity in the fact that there is only one instrument playing from beginning to end, and there's no edits, and it doesn't have... There's so much of what we're used to hearing in modern music that isn't in there.
But are you saying that the emotion...
And yet it doesn't feel retro. So that's the weird magic trick that I unintentionally...
But you pulled off an even bigger magic trick than that. You made... myself and
I got hipsters into
that's what I'm trying to dispel. Is that beyond I'm not a hipster, but you got people from all different walks of life. That's why I sold a lot of records. Hipsters don't buy records, guys.
Yeah, that's true.
You got people from all sorts of walks of life to really feel some emotion on that record. And what I would hate, but at the same time find fascinating, if you were telling me now that was kind of as calculated as, say, Original Prankster.
It's just like I said. Part of that is true, but part of it is just the exaggeration of hearing something that was so obviously done in the room, and when I play live, it sounds exactly like it's the first time I had that kind of perfect harmony between what I was doing on stage and what people could get on a record as well.
And with yourself, though, that's, I guess, what I'm trying to get at. That when you took away...
But I was partly, consciously using that also to take on the role of the solitary pianist.